Last night I dreamed of my brother Stephen. I woke up sobbing. I wish I could tell you about the real Stephen, share his story fully. I know I'm not skilled enough, but I'll try. Stephen was obsessed with nature fly fishing and everything outdoors. Tarantulas and frogs were his favorite animals, but he adored dogs too. He had 3 small, adorable, playful pups. From childhood, Stephen walked heavily, his steps calm and steady, as if following a slow melody only he heard. He was brilliant, his passion for nature and science astonishing. When I was 4, I listened captivated as he explained everything about a lizard cupped in his hands. Stephen was vibrant, radiant. I once thought he shone like a star, and it was true. He loved the cosmos. Before I could walk, he decided we'd be astronauts traveling space together, the first to step on Mars' orbit. Saturn's superstorms gaze at the pillars of creation and God's hand. But Stephen also wanted to be a normal boy. He craved friends who shared his love for tarantulas, dachshunds, insects, ecosystems, nebula. Friends who cared, who liked him. Kids were cruel, adults worse. From first grade, Stephen often came home crying. I wanted to destroy those who hurt him. I still do. Bullies don't deserve to exist. I don't care if they were abused or unloved. Their pain doesn't justify harming someone like my brother. The world would be better without them. I'd erase them without hesitation. Months turned to years. Stephen stopped crying not from happiness, but from too much sorrow. He grew quiet, reserved, unreadable. His books on ecosystems, galaxies, and quantum physics gathered dust. He no longer spent hours studying insects outdoors. I watched panicked as my brother, a boundless learner, a shining star, dimmed. I didn't know what happened, only that it was awful, worse than bad. I couldn't understand why Dad didn't storm the school and crush those hurting Stephen. Why our parents let him keep going. Why they'd send me there too. To me, school was a slaughterhouse, a fire hose dousing stars. My first school day, I fought like I was drowning. Mom was helpless. Dad so angry he yelled. I collapsed, screaming, face red. The floor trembled with Stephen's heavy, familiar steps. A gentle hand touched my shoulder. It'll be okay, he said. No, I gasped. He knelt. It'll be fine. You're normal, you know. You'll be okay. If not, I'll kick their butts until you are. I looked up, his serious eyes behind glasses meeting mine. No, I said. I'll kick them until you're happy. He smiled. Good. He was right. That day was normal, like most school days after. In first grade, Stephen in sixth, we had separate lunches, breaks, everything. I often forgot we attended the same school. Until October. My class went on a zoo field trip returning at 1:00 p.m., past younger kids' recess, but during the older kids. Stepping off the bus, I saw Stephen alone near the track. Excited, I ran shouting, "Step!" I petted a goat. It headbutted me. He ignored me, my heart sinking. He'd never done that. Maybe he didn't see me. I kept running. He wasn't alone. 3 boys stood behind him, hidden by his height. Was he ignoring me to look cool? Was I just a pesky bug? A dumb little brother? Anger surged. I reached him. Step 1. One boy mocked his name, taunting. Stephen turned, blood and tears streaking his face. Another boy punched his stomach. He staggered, wincing. Why didn't he fight back? He was twice their size. Rage blinded me, a red haze. I charged, one bully, then another. Ryan, watch out, a boy yelled. Ryan turned, his fist meant for Stephen, hitting my face. Blood hot and metallic filled my mouth. I cried. Stephen shouted, his voice pained. Was he mad at me for being stupid, for making things worse? Then he swung, punching Ryan with all his strength. Blood sprayed, a bright firework. Ryan crumpled like a cut puppet. Kids screamed. Stephen stood, tears on his swollen face, then grabbed my hand, pulling me away. His slow, heavy steps calmed me, no matter what. I glanced up, his jaw clenched, to stop trembling. Ryan was barely hurt, a pity. I wanted him dead. He claimed Stephen attacked unprovoked, hitting me by accident. I denied it, but Stephen stayed silent, not defending himself. Ryan, a known bully, wasn't innocent, but he was a normal kid from a 4-generation local family. Stephen was the tall, quiet weirdo who loved odd things. Ryan got a warning. Stephen was expelled. He faced whispers, glares, and harassment. One day, walking our dogs, we passed 2 neighbor girls. I knew they'd spread lies. Sure enough, they claimed Stephen kicked puppies dead. Rumors spread and he stopped leaving the house. My shining star brother faded unnoticed by all but me. Lizards, spiders, science space, nothing mattered anymore. His room's door stayed closed. He sat lifeless at the table on the couch, eyes empty. Injustice crushed me, filling me with hate. I hated them, society. People like Stephen were tragedies born to soar, but taught to crawl. He sank deeper, his light dimming. I loved him more than anything sitting with him as he stared at dusty science books or the ceiling. When he watched TV, I joined. Even watching cartoons, I liked, selfishly thinking he enjoyed them. One night, exhausted, I fell asleep on the couch during Kids in the Hall. Waking near midnight, Stephen sat beside me, still watching. He smiled, shy but real, then laughed, a miracle rare and beautiful. It felt like a dream. The show paused for ads, his smile fading. "What's that show?" I asked. "Kids in the Hall," he said. "It's great." When it resumed, I watched closely. His familiar, scary, lovely laugh made me join in. When it ended, he sighed. "That was good." "Yeah," I agreed eagerly. Kids in the Hall was his favorite, along with Frasier's, The Simpsons, La Femme Nikita, and Miami Vice. They warmed him, rekindling his starlight. Weeks of simple joys followed, golden memories before the TV, laughing at silly sketches, until one night I fell asleep during Kids in the Hall. A nightmare hit. A cabbage-headed man, face melting, eyes dropping, mouth stretching, stared at the camera. "Only you see me," it said, voice clicking. I woke on my bed, crying, feeling like a baby. Stephen had carried me upstairs. The nightmare's face haunted me, lurking under my bed. I clenched my teeth, ran from my room, slamming the door. The TV's glow lit the stairs. I stormed down, angry he'd moved me, then froze. Not the cabbage man, but worse, a dead woman's swollen, discolored face, black tongue protruding, filled the screen. Stephen watched, tears streaming silver rivers in the TV's light. The woman twitched, startling me. I screamed. He turned, pain in his eyes. "What's that?" I whispered. "Don't look," he said, voice thick. "What show is it? It's not a show." "Then what?" His face twisted. "The future." The woman moved, dragged by a man whose face swirled with stars and smoke. He threw her into a river, her hair fanning out, water filling her mouth. "As long as I watch, this won't happen," Stephen said. I stepped back, heart slowing. "How?" He pushed up his glasses, sighing. "Ever heard of the double-slit experiment?" I shook my head. "You wouldn't understand. I don't fully either." "Know what atoms are?" I nodded, recalling school. Atoms have protons, neutrons, electrons. Electrons decide what atoms do, if they're stable or bond. They're tiny, but we can see them with microscopes. If you watch electrons knowing you're watching, they act normal. If not, things get weird. I waited. He pointed at the TV. "If I watch these crimes, the people or their atoms know they're seen, so they behave. The bad things don't happen. But if they don't happen, why is it on TV?" "I don't know," he admitted. "Maybe quantum entanglement, alternate timelines. Science will figure it out. Until then, I do this alone." "Not alone," I said, sitting beside him. "I don't want you watching," he snapped. "I don't want you watching alone. We're even." I crossed my arms, staring at the TV. The river scene faded, replaced by a yellow glow, shattering into colorful specks. A teen with a red gas can approached an old house, face hidden by smoke and stars. They poured gasoline, lit a match. The house blazed. People inside didn't escape. I'd never thought about fire deaths. I assumed skin melted, but it doesn't. It blisters, pops bubbles like lava or grilled cheese, charring black, exposing gleaming bone. I watched until the last victim stilled, then the screen faded. Stephen cried. I hugged him, sobbing in relief. The TV didn't show this nightly, only Saturdays at 11:24 p.m. Every Saturday at 11:15, I'd sit with Stephen, waiting for the screen to glow yellow, watching horrors unfold, disasters, murders, assaults, tortures, unimaginable acts. I cried, vomited, had nightmares. We hated it, but watched. Once I asked, "How long have you watched?" He shrugged, weary. "Since I was 8, second grade." He'd endured alone for years, fueling my rage. My presence kept him from loneliness. We watched every Saturday, spring to winter. One January Saturday, Stephen fell ill, a rare event. Years of flu seemed to hit at once, his fever soaring. Our parents rushed him to the hospital, where doctors packed him in ice to lower his temperature. He stayed too weak to leave. They stayed with him, leaving me alone. The TV had to be watched at 11:20 p.m. I went downstairs, facing it alone for the first time. The screen turned yellow, dissolving into starry specks, then black. The program began. At a farm, two teen boys sneaked around, faces hidden. "Get up, idiot," scared one taunted. The camera panned to Ryan, kneeling, eyes bruised, lips bloodied, the bully who tormented Stephen. I froze, recalling his tears, his expulsion for protecting me, the rumors. On screen, Ryan sobbed, tears falling like dim stars. I covered my eyes. Horrific sounds erupted, thuds, slaps, cracks, groans, cruel laughter. Ryan's cries, a hollow thud, like a pumpkin, smashing silence. "Oh no," a boy yelled. "We're screwed." I looked. Ryan twitched in a blood pool skull, caved hair matted. The boys fled. I stared, mesmerized, as blood spread, blooming like red flowers. The screen went black. A shadow moved near the ceiling. I turned, petrified. A face with glowing yellow eyes, sagging skin, stared from a void where the ceiling should be a cosmic window of swirling stars and smoke. The creature extended a finger, short yet impossibly long, piercing my mind. "No one sees me but you," it said, voice clicking. Tears stung as headlights flashed through the curtains, engine humming, doors slamming. Stephen stumbled in, pale as death, parents sobbing outside. "You watched, didn't you?" he asked urgently. "That's why you're crying." I nodded. The whole thing, even when it got bad, I nodded again. His tension eased. "Good. I'm sorry you watched alone." I forced a smile and he returned it, hugging me awkwardly. "Thanks. I didn't sleep, praying he wouldn't learn I hadn't watched Ryan's death fully. My prayers failed." 3 weeks later, news reported Ryan's brutal death, beaten by cousins, body found in a field. Stephen stared at me, confused, then locked himself in his room all day. He didn't speak to me for a week. That Saturday at 11:20 p.m., he sat in the living room, frail from fever, paler, sadder. Was it illness or my failure? I sat beside him, waiting. At 11:24, the screen glowed yellow, shattering into specks, then darkened. A criminal face hidden by smoke and stars approached a bound, screaming victim. Another figure appeared, a creature with glowing eyes, sagging skin, crawling from the ceiling. It ignored the criminal staring at us. It descended like a spider, hovering over the criminal, peeling the smoke mask and placing it on the victim. The TV cut off. "What did you do?" Stephen demanded. "I didn't watch when you were in the hospital." That's why Ryan died. The screen flared yellow, startling us, then showed our living room, us on the couch, parents bound, gagged, crying. A man entered, the creature's glowing eyes behind him. It merged with him, his skin flashing gold. The screen flickered off. "No," Stephen yelled. I stared, numb. A shadow moved on the ceiling, a cosmic window of stars and colors. The creature emerged, smiling. "What are you?" Stephen shouted. It laughed, screeching. Stephen charged, grabbing its sagging skin, climbing like a mountaineer. Its mouth stretched, revealing starry darkness and a mercury tongue. It fell, eyes bubbling like boils. I covered my eyes, biting my lip to stay silent. A thunderous crash shook the house. Stephen lay on the floor, hands black with starry specks, fading to normal. "You okay?" I whispered. "It'll kill us," he gasped. "We have to stop it. Chase it." "You can't." He raised his hands. "I can. I changed ourselves, our atoms. They don't have to obey unless we choose. You saw. I can follow it." Footsteps approached. Dad peered from the upstairs railing. "What's going on?" "It's past midnight. Sleep." Stephen and I exchanged glances. "Sorry," he said calmly, heading upstairs, steps steady. For weeks, he stayed in his room, emerging only for Saturday TV. I heard him muttering through our shared wall, pacing with familiar steps. Desperate to talk, I waited by my door, ready to catch him. One afternoon, I heard his door creak. I burst out, but his room was empty. Books open, nebula posters on walls. A glint of glass in the hall caught my eye. Stephen stood there, tall, radiant, in his Iron Maiden shirt, glasses gleaming. His hands were black voids of stars. "Why can you see me?" he snapped. "I have to stop. You're the only one who can." "No," I cried. "This is the only way to save everyone," he said, shoving me out, slamming his door. Days passed without seeing him except Saturdays. That night, I went downstairs early, hoping to talk before the show. He wasn't there. Tears welled, but I had to watch. I turned on the TV, waiting. The screen stayed black. "Stop staring," Stephen growled from the corner. I froze. He emerged from a void, pointing at the ceiling. "Anyone can open it if they know how, including me." I sobbed, tears uncontrollable. "One more time," he said, frowning. "It has to happen or we all die." No, I cried. I just got you back. Stay. It's bigger than us, Mom, Dad. That thing, it's worse than evil. Someone has to stop it. I will. He hugged me. I can't go if you see me. Only you can. Close your eyes. Tears blurred the creature's sagging face in my mind. I can't, I sobbed, collapsing. Close them now, he urged. Sinking to my knees, I covered my eyes. His slow steps crossed the room, followed by a rustle, his faint laugh, then silence. I opened my eyes. No glass, no shadow, no steps, no cosmic window. Stephen was gone. At 11:24, the TV glowed yellow, fading to stars, then black. It stayed dark, broken, no longer a window to evil. Tears burned as I stared. A speck appeared then, more revealing stars, planets, supernova remnants, a vast cosmos. The camera panned to a glowing ladder. Stephen climbed, no helmet, just his shirt and glasses, billions of light years away. It zoomed to the creature's sagging skin, mercury, tongue fleeing in fear. Stephen pursued, relentless as he was when he led me from school years ago. Panic surged. If I watched, would I doom him? Or must I watch to save him? Closing my eyes, I let him face the creature alone. The cosmic hum faded. Opening my eyes, the TV was off, the house silent, 200 a.m. In Stephen's room, walls glowed with star decals, nebula posters, Hubble photos, Horsehead, Jupiter, Mars, pillars of creation. I curled on his bed, sobbing, dreaming of us on Mars, orbiting Saturn, dodging comets, gazing at the pillars. A serene song played, a non-human chorus, peaceful yet vast. I woke wanting to die. One truth kept me going, and I could become invisible, manipulate reality's threads, open the cosmic window. I don't know how, but I will. I'll find Stephen, waiting or not. I'll step through because I know what's at stake. The universe's threads sing a divine, imperfect symphony. Amid its discord, a beast lurks, twisting the strings. Beneath it, I hear a steady rhythm, Stephen's steps guiding me.